following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discuss the greatest female athletes and greatest female MCs ever, talk some NBA and NFL draft, and of course they jump into the weekly segment, Buy or Sell, answer a listener question, and wrap it all up with some trivia. Let's get it!
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check. Pool. Out. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up. Keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, but get out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. Told you. On to the shy life. I'm gonna let this ride out though. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 148. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, and close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glymph, Thomas Stevens. What's good with you, Al?
Man, chilling, brother. Doing good. Good to be here. Good to be here with y'all. Good to be here doing another show. Just feeling good, man. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. As Money would say, the real is back.
Real is back.
It's I told Money got like 50 nicknames. It's Captain Canapis, that kid Money, all kind of stuff, man. Kid named Bandit.
All I is, after listening to their last show, I want to hang out with Money and his folk during CIAA time.
Yo, ain't that crazy? Oh, man,
yeah, buddy.
Yeah. As he was talking, I sat in the corner like, why I ain't get invited?
Okay,
right.
I'm calling him Captain CIAA from now on.
Right, that's name. Another. It's 51 nickname. Man.
There you go.
Man. Pooh, what's good?
Nothing, man. I'm just chilling, hanging out, ready to put this food in the oven, man. Ready to get going.
Oh man, go chef it up. What's on the menu for tonight? Don't tell me Money. Don't tell me Money sent you a plate.
Right, I'm talking about the.
No, all right.
Yeah.
Figurative food.
Right.
No,
the day was gym day, so we didn't cook. I had oven pizza.
Okay.
Dude, I made a horrible mistake on selecting that. Everybody was totally satisfied with their solutions. I hated mine.
Oh man.
Man.
So you mentioned pizza. What's your what'd you get on your? What's your favorite pizza? What's your toppings? What's your go-to?
My favorite cheese. I just
plain
cheese. You know, when I feel like getting funky, you know, I do a little hamburger and what do you call it? Green peppers.
Okay.
You know, so I don't do too much. Maybe onion. You know, onions every now and again to mix it up. Do veggies.
Okay.
But my go-to is cheese.
Okay. What's yours? What's your go-to toppings on your pizza?
If I'm in New York City, nothing.
Okay.
I think the pizza in New York City is sweet enough as is. Outside of New York City, I'll do spinach, tomatoes, and chicken sausage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm a straight. Give me a veggie lovers. I'm good. I hate meat on my pizza. So either cheese like you Pooh or you Al. Like cheese is always, you can't go wrong with just plain cheese. Just from the right place. As long as the crust is good. And but yeah, if I'm loading up, I'm going veggie lovers. Like broccoli rabe and all the everything. Artichoke hearts load me up. So I don't know. Like occasionally I can do like chicken, but I can't do a bunch of meat on my pizza. I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the most I used to do a little pepperoni, and I have done beef or that type of stuff. But now I stay away from the pepperoni. The pizza spot near us, they do the chicken sausage is kind of tasty, so I'll throw some chicken sausage on there. But other than that, I'm not that big of a meat anymore on my pizza anymore either.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, it is Women's History Month, y'all.
Yeah.
So we're gonna spend this episode giving talking about our favorite female MCs, female athletes. I even got a female a women centric trivia lined up for y'all. So so that's gonna be fun. But shout out to all of the influential women in the world, in our lives, in our Defy Life family. So, shout out to all the women, our wives, mothers, play cousins, all of our cousins, all of y'all, man. We love y'all. And
mad love.
And no shout out to Lynn and Kim, all of the wives and significant others throughout the Defy Life network. We love y'all. Shout out to Giselle and Lisette, who will be joining us soon. Shout out to the Cornbread Fed ladies. All y'all. We love y'all to death. And we are thankful for y'all, because I always say, the greatest purpose a woman has in a man's life is to stop us from doing stupid shit. And if you find a good woman, she will stop you from doing a whole lot of stupid shit that you're inclined to do. So shout out to y'all, because my wife has stopped me from jumping off a whole lot of cliffs that I shouldn't be jumping off of. So shout out to all the women in our lives.
No doubt.
I ain't never thought about it like that, but you damn sure are.
Yeah.
Damn sure right.
Hey, that's what, man. Think about all the dumb shit you wanted to do when your wife just look at you like, I don't know about this one. Like, she let you go so far and so many. But it's certain ones she got to step in and be like, "Look, man, I don't know about this one." So if you find a woman who can stop you from doing a lot of stupid shit, keep her.
Right.
So, but yeah, man. So we're just gonna go straight into it, man. So on that note, Al, this is a really tough question, because after I came with the topic, I was like, "Whoa, this is really tough to narrow it down." But who are your top 3 female athletes of all time?
And it's one of them things where top, favorite, greatest, all that shit just kind of gets blended in, right? So for whatever it's worth, my 3 are, and not in order, just these 3: Cheryl Miller. Serena Williams, and Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
All right. Cool.
And to me, like, Cheryl Miller is, like, just one of the greatest athletes, and who she was, what she accomplished at her time. Just an amazing athlete, dominant, just way before her time, trailblazer, pioneer. I mean, Serena Williams, if you've been anywhere on this planet and not under a rock for the last 20 years, she's self-explanatory. Like, she might go down as one of the great athletes ever, right? So just amazing what she accomplished, especially in the industry that she accomplished in, and the way she accomplished it in such a... I mean, she what's so interesting about Serena and her dominance is that she was one who... in many ways assimilated and was mainstream, but at the same time still kept her Serena-ness about her, about as much as you can as you assimilate into the mainstream. Which is really, really hard to be accepted by the mainstream and still stay true to who you are. Like, that's just very, very rare for you to see somebody to get all the way to the top and maintain still a good sense of who she was when she came into the game. And then, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, man, like, not just the dominance, but even the length of time that she dominated in the Olympics and track and field, just stands out to me as just one of the amazing accomplishments of any athlete definitely a female athlete. And in the steroids era, did it clean. So yeah, those are my three.
No doubt. Yeah, tough to those. Pooh, what say you, man? Who's your three? And like Al said, whether it's favorite, best, or most influential, whatever it is, your top three. Because I'll take these together.
I'm gonna go with Serena Williams as well. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with Simone Biles, and I'm gonna go with Clarissa Shields.
Okay, damn good ones.
I'm gonna go with that. And my favorite, of course, is Dominique Dawes and Cheryl Swoop. Those are my favorite women athletes of all time.
Of course, but for different reasons.
What those reasons be? Pooh ain't on the couch yet, so hold on. Wait.
Right.
We'll get back to that. And shout out to my favorite though. My favorite is Shamika Holtzclaw.
Oh, okay. I rock Shamika as well. Though.
Yeah, and even though she don't roll up into the top three, like I think Shamikwa, I think is actually her name. Like coming out of Queens at a time where my only connection to female basketball was Tanya, your sister. Right. So I kind of knew it, loved it, but not really. I didn't really get all the way into it, but at the time where I started watching a little bit more, it was because this girl out of Queens is down in Tennessee balling out, and I'm like, yo, let's see who this chick is from the neighborhood, and then it's like, Tennessee became my favorite college women's basketball team, and Pat Summitt became a favorite coach, and then just following her career. But it all started because of Shamikwa, and then getting to meet her one day was also kind of a good highlight. So I definitely put her as my favorite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Al, I came up with mine, and you matched mine on your first three. But I kind of knew that those names were gonna be on somebody else's list. So I could not include Jackie Hersey. Like, to me, she's the epitome of an athlete. Like, she dominated in so many different areas of her sport. So had to leave her on the list, and I actually went with Stokes as my second. And it's like when she was at Texas Tech, man, she was like unbelievably like dominant. Like, I never saw right. Right. And I also thought Serena was Serena's just like at the top, and everybody else I had to choose from. So Serena's given to me. But I got to go lastly, just most impressive, like watching Maya Moore when she was at Connecticut. Like she was just, and I know, Keon would always say like, women's hoops ain't a real sport. Like, that's and we joke about calling him Captain Caveman, but it's like statements like that. I was really serious about, dude, you don't know what you're talking about, because to see, like you said, like the Cheryl Millers and the Shamika Holtzclaws and the Maya Moore, like countless women, Diana Taurasi, just the skill that they have without just the sheer athleticism of playing above the rim, and knowing how much skill it takes to be a dominant basketball player without that given athleticism is impressive. And then I'll throw in my favorite, like you mentioned, my sister Tanya. She taught me all my post moves without actually knowing she was teaching me. She taught me how to box out and use my ample posterior to keep people away from the back from rebound.
As she used her ample posterior. As
she used hers. She, time year after year, my entire childhood of just getting bullied and beat up on the basketball court, and actually having to tell people, I can't beat my sister. And she went away to college and came back. And of course, by that, she's 7 years older than me. So by that time, I hit my growth spurts, and I was a young man, and she stopped playing me. Right. So she taught me that too. that we can get, once the pupil becomes the teacher, just back away. So shout out to my sister, man. She was All-American basketball player in high school. Ended up being an All-American softball player in college. So, and while she was on a basketball scholarship. So, now and she became the first, female, the first female athletic director at Winston-Salem State. And now she's currently the first female and first black athletic director at Bluefield College in Virginia. So shout out to my sister, man. Major influence, major talent. So love you, sis.
Trailblazer.
Absolutely.
And let me also, you mentioned Maya Moore, and I think, shout out to her, because for those who don't know, she sat out last year's WNBA season, is going to sit out this year. And part of what she's been doing while she's been out is helping a gentleman who was wrongly convicted in Missouri.
All right.
Dude's name is Jonathan Irons, and his case was recently overturned. And a lot of it had to do with her involvement in raising awareness. And brother spent, I think, like 20 years of a 50 and it's getting 23 years, and it's being overturned, and maybe he might have to do another trial, maybe not. But point is, shout out to her for not just being one of the greatest athletes on the planet at this time, but also to really recognize and it's really important, and to take time out to fight for justice. So just wanted to acknowledge that you mentioned her name, because I was like, oh man, I just read something about her recently.
All right. Yeah.
So, shout out to her.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And I'm, and there are absolutely countless names that we're not mentioning. But again, we'd be on the show for 3 hours if we went on about all of our favorites and all of the top. So we had to limit it to 3. Same as we'll do for the for our next group is our top 3 female MCs of all time. So, Pooh, who your top 3 female rappers of all time?
Top 3 female rappers. I'm gonna go Missy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Kim.
Okay.
And probably I'm gonna go. I mean, if I had to match them up against each other, I'll go Nicki, but just for the time of the era of me growing up and listening, and the smooth and charismatic, I'm gonna go with MC Lyte, just because of like what music to me at that time.
Right. Okay.
So I'll give you those 3.
That's tough. Okay. Al, what say you? Your top 3 female MCs of all time?
Yeah, right. So, granted, I have a generational bias, I have a regional bias, and I have a concern for lyrical bias, right? So, I'll take 2 of those 3 that Pooh mentioned. I'll definitely claim Light, and I'll add Kim's on my list as well. The third one for me would be Raw Digger.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and Al, your infatuation for MC Lyte may cause you to pick her for other reasons as well, but you ain't on the couch, so we ain't worried about that.
No, I ain't on the couch, and my wife was standing behind me. She would say it was probably more than an infatuation.
Oh, right.
So that's definitely been the one who really, since we've been dating, that she keep bringing up. Like, if we in a conversation, she'd be like, yeah, but my husband got a crush on MC Lyte. Yeah, don't mention Lyte, because Alvin always had this thing for MC Lyte. I'm like, yo, that was 30 years ago.
But it still stands.
You're right. Right. It still stands. And definitely one of my highlight in my clubbing moments was getting to dance with her at a club.
Wow.
Although she had a bodyguard standing behind her. But that's okay.
Yeah, he can watch.
He can watch. I just want to be able to remember this shit 30 years from now. So that was my 3.
Dope. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I mean, Light's definitely on my list. Damn, Kim's on my list as well. And my third, edging out Missy, would be Lauryn Hill for me.
Oh, I totally forgot Lauren.
Boogie.
I got the boogie.
All right. And again, I think we talked about this. It's been shows and shows ago, but just what she was able to do in such a small window was completely impressive. But I was in the car the other day, had my kids listening to the Fugees album, so she's always she's timeless to me.
I gotta, before you jump on that, Al, I gotta, I hate to really side with Jay, but I gotta go Boogie. I totally forgot Boogie. And I was just listening to the Miseducation maybe 40 minutes ago on the way home. So I gotta change my ties and I gotta slide Boogie. Gotta slide Boogie.
One of the greatest albums ever.
Oh, period. Point blank.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That in itself definitely gets you in the conversation if you have one of the greatest albums ever.
Right.
And and to be honest, she's a part of two of the greatest hip hop albums ever. With the Fugees album and the Miseducation. So whether you label Miseducation a hip hop album or not, still two of the greatest albums ever.
True.
So she's the light of the generation. Just as far as her nation and her willingness to not self-limit herself as just a female MC. She was just dope.
Right.
Not for a chick. She was just dope.
Right.
But again,
it's what made her what has her on a I can't say I forgot about her because she'd probably be 4.
Right.
What I love her most is, like you said, the innovation, creativity, but just the diversity of talent.
Right.
Yeah.
That stand out. No one else on our list. Maybe Missy. Can talk about that level of diversity.
Right. And to the impressive thing, and with Missy too, messes me with her and Lauren, is to be able to be in a group with 2 other dudes and you are the standout.
And you the standout,
yeah. You basically and early in their career, people would kind of say snide remarks about Wyclef and Pras, but they held their own. But she was still always the standout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and to me, it's just why I just feel like this when I hear her sing rap. It's just almost it just feels like there's just no compromise in her voice. I'm gonna be me no matter what. I don't care if she's just humming. It just feels like it's just no compromising with her. I'm gonna be who I am, a free spirit. So that to me, that's just mad dope. That's just mad dope.
Yeah, and so just for her to anybody to have quotables, any MC for me, if they're at the top of your list, got to have quotables, and she got so many of them. One that stands out to me is just so all you ignorant niggas hear me. I add a motherfucker so all you ignorant niggas hear me. She's just dope, man. Just clever. So shout out to all the ones we named. And again, we'd be on here for 3 hours if we went on and on about all of our favorites. We ain't even talk about We Love. We ain't talk about Queen Latifah. We ain't talk about Bahamadia and Lady of Rage. Many of them.
Right. Hey, when I went, Keita and I went back and watched the Roxanne joint.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Boy, she was really, really ill.
Yeah. She was very ill.
Bro,
very ill.
She was really ill, though.
Yeah.
Ill.
So, and the Brat.
That's my boo right there.
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people if y'all put one before this, let me know. But as far as my recollection, they have the first remix ever. They have the first remix ever, and it's Push It.
Really?
Like, so when you think about the definition of a remix, right? We make a song and we remix it, and we come out with another song, and that song is a single. That is the first one. Push It.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is dope.
And I'm like, yo, come up with one before that. As far as I know, that was the first one.
What year was that?
Oh, Push It, 87, 88, around that time.
Yeah, it would definitely.
Right. Until that, people are just putting out singles, and that's the joint. That's it.
Right.
Push It was a song, and then they came out, and it was like, and then they came out with the one that everybody remembers now, and that
I didn't
shit
even know
rocked.
that. That's crazy.
That shit rocked. And it was like, oh shit. And then remixes became a thing. Yeah, I mean, just think about it, like, because until then, nobody's like, yo, just come out with another version of that song.
Yeah.
Nah, everybody just make another song is really what people's doing. Like, it wasn't same song, new track, or new. Nah, like, they had the first one.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So again, others that we didn't talk about, Foxy. We didn't talk about Foxy. So,
ooh, Foxy.
Right. Damn. And the
TLC,
TLC, yeah, and Left Eye, the lyrical greatness of Charlie Baltimore. Nah, I kid. But she was out there.
I'm like, she was cute. It was cute.
Oh man, but yeah, man. Just wanted to touch on those, man. Shout out again to all of the women in our midst. Our families, our extended families. Women that in sports that we're fans of. We will, as Women's History Month continues, we will continue to pay homage to all of the ladies, as we should. It shouldn't, again, like any other special month. We don't just appreciate y'all during this month, but every month. But since this is y'all's month, we're going to give y'all some special shine.
No.
That's what's up.
So, Al, you mentioned it earlier, man, when you're talking about Pooh, that he wasn't yet on the couch. So, Pooh, come on and sit, lean back on the couch, put your feet up, get comfortable, man. So last week we talked about a lot of the idiosyncrasies of our very own Thomas Stevens. He don't eat big pieces of chicken. What else was it, Al? He don't. Yeah, it's just so much.
The big piece of chicken one was.
It just looked grotesque to me. Like, I can't do it.
So, every time Pooh wife cook chicken, she got to cut it up like he a kid.
Go ahead.
So, is it like wings only, or you like
9 times out of 10, I probably only eat flats.
Wow.
And I have to get them hard.
And so, like, if you come to Friday night car party and I done fried up a whole chicken. And I got breasts, thighs, drumstick, and a neck. You just gonna neck?
He's gonna gnaw on the neck all night.
you gonna pass on the breast? Like, nah, I want that.
I mean, but most of the time, if I go to someone, I don't even eat chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even eat chicken.
All right.
Yeah.
I think he was also Elevators, right? Wasn't Elevators also?
Yeah. I don't too much rock with them. The height that I'm going is just ridiculous, and that I have to
14 flights.
Yeah,
14 flights and under.
Hey, I have to, I just have to adhere.
14 flights.
Like I just have to adhere to it, and then I would take them.
Wow.
The family did a vacation at Myrtle Beach a few years back, and we were on the 12th floor. But I walk down, every time, down and up. They were like, something wrong with this dude. And I carry one of the kids with me every time, whichever one wanted to walk with me.
Wow.
But I just.
So does it ever discourage you from going downstairs? Like, I ain't walking down there.
Nah. I just because, I'm going to do something.
If you forgot something in the car, would you be like, man, fuck that, I'll get it in the morning?
Contingent upon what it is. Hey, of what it is. If I'm at a restaurant and there's a cup on top, I'd be like, nah, give me the second cup. Don't give me the first cup. You know, it's just
that too. Hold on, we adding to the list now. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Don't give me the first cup.
Wow.
What happened?
So you don't take the first cup, like the first cup off the stack. They got to give you the second one.
I gotta get the second or the third, whatever.
Okay.
Just not
Is
the
it like
first
a
cup.
fear that somebody spit on the top one, or
The first cup got coronavirus or something?
It just seemed like it's contaminated with something.
Okay.
Or the air's on it. I don't know, bro. I don't want it. Hey, I don't want it.
I don't want that shit. Even if you seen it like come right out the dishwasher. You know what I mean? Like, so if you watching and if you could peek in the kitchen and you see the cat, he's stacking them up, and you seen it gone from the dishwasher to this stack that he about to bring out, and you're like, nah, don't give me that one. Give me the one right under that one.
If it was okay, if I don't want it. If I walk in and it's already there, I don't want it. However, if someone's ahead of me, boom, and they pull one and the next one come up, I'm good with that one.
Okay.
I'm good with it at that point in time. But if it's already there when I walk in, no, I can't deal with it.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
No, another one was coasters and rides. So is it the heights or the speed or both? Like, what is it about rides and coasters that you just won't do? You ride what the kitty duck, the mini duck,
Aqueduct.
the aqueduct. You want to ride the aqueduct? You want to ride the mini duck?
It's two things. It's okay, if I want to get off, would I be able to get off? So if it's something over my head that's confining me from just reaching up and getting out, I don't want to get on it.
Okay.
And if it has a safety belt that I feel as though it would jam on me and it won't let me out, I really don't want to get on it either.
Okay.
So at some points in time, so when we went to Legoland, we had to ride a ride, bro, and we had to put a seatbelt on, and it literally just bounced up and down. And there was no one else to ride. Keita was on with Cooper, and I had to get on with Erickson. And I was like, Dad, boy, I really don't want to get on this joint. So I got on it, and the attendant was looking at me, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, hey, it's stuck. You know, you take it off. So they came up. She opened it. She's loosened it because it wouldn't. It tightened up on me, and I can't deal with that. I just feel so restricted. So for a while, I had to ride holding the belt in my hand without snapping it until I became comfortable with the ride, and then I snapped it in. But dude, a lot of the times I can't even snap the safety belt until I just feel comfortable with the ride.
So you just had to look
So
up
what would
the lady.
you do? Like, you just be riding with it not buckled in?
Yeah, initially.
Man, come on.
Initially.
Go ahead.
No, seriously. Because once I snap it and I feel like it's this is what I did. Okay, I snapped it, but I pulled it like extremely loose.
Oh, okay.
So and I wrapped around my hand, so it had a lot of leeway in it.
So if something happened, you're just gonna be dangling by that loose ass.
I'm probably so. And so
I felt restricted.
And in my head, I'm not thinking that okay, something is gonna happen and the seatbelt is gonna save me.
Right.
This is what's in my head. Something's gonna happen and I'm gonna be stuck and not able to get out.
I'll let you out, and you're just gonna be screaming, "Give us free!"
Right. So like when I'm riding in the car, bro, I got a knife in the glove compartment and next to me, so I feel if the car flip over 10 times, the seatbelt not gonna let me out, so I'm about to cut the seatbelt off. Like I'm always thinking that something's gonna confine me and I'm not gonna be able to get out. Right.
So what do you like on the airplane?
Man, it's weird, but I'm not at peace. However, because I know I can't do anything, like I'm in the air. So, I mean, as long as I get the aisle seat, I'll just chill out and I deal with them. But my anxiety is extremely high. But I just deal with it. Yeah.
Well, so do you, like, is there, for any of these things, do you pinpoint a moment in like your childhood or your early life that kind of triggered these things?
Were you like watching Roots or something like that?
Roots in space. Like,
and check this out. So my deepest sleep time is maybe from, I don't know, maybe 1 to 3, 1 to 3:30, maybe 1 to 3, 3:35, 3:40. But every moment after that, probably every hour on the hour, I'll wake up, walk around the house, apartment, whatever, look out the window, go back, get in the bed. And then, 40 minutes, I'll wake up again. I do the whole sequence all the way back over again.
To this day?
Yeah, to this day.
No, I'm kind of with you on that. Like every morning, like right around 3:30, I wake up. I wake up, walk around a little bit, get a glass of water. Like you said, look out the window. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Probably,
I never do that.
Yeah.
As in never. Like, not even when I say, when they say never, I can say never on this time. Like, I don't think in my life I've ever done that.
Wow.
If I hear the slightest thing as a chirp or anything, my mind will not be able until I walk around and check out, look in the closets, make sure nothing's else. Like I just won't be able to go back to sleep.
Oh no, I don't do all that shit.
So one night I remember doing this, but I always sleep next to the outside of the bed where I can just roll out, go. I never sleep to crawl over Keita or anything like that. So one night, I was like, let me sleep on this side, I was like, you don't understand, I gotta sleep over here. Right. She was like, whatever, you just get your way all the time. And I was like, hey, all right, pick your poison, So, dude, I got up. I probably got up about at least 10 times. And like the last time I got up, I walked back in the bed, and she was just sitting up in the bed looking at me. She was like, yo, you're crazy as hell. We got to do something about you.
So that leads me to my question.
She said we got to do something about you. Huh?
That leads me to my question.
What's
up? Chances are, and I don't know. I haven't met your queen yet, so I don't know for certain. But chances are, she wasn't raised with somebody like you,
right?
So that, at some point she's dating this guy, or she's like falling in love with this guy. But she has to acknowledge that
this nigga's crazy.
This is crazy as shit. like road lizard crazy. Like, this motherfucker crazy. So,
right.
Did she share that with you? Did you ever see it in her eyes? Has it even happened? I'm just kind of curious. What is that dynamic like?
She'll blatantly look at me and was like, "Yo, you ruining everything. You need to get some help."
And then you just look at her like, "It's I grow out of it."
No,
it's just a phase,
right?
I just be like, "Yo, I'm looking for a therapist. I'm looking." It's like you look for years. You got to do something. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But yeah, I don't know. I can name 1,000,001 things that's totally
quirks.
Weird.
So
can I get one more? Just
right. That's what I was. So that's what I was saying. You name just one more. Put that one.
Y'all crazy, man.
And this is crazy because I've been knowing this dude since we was 15, and a lot of the stuff, I knew about the chicken thing. That's the only thing I knew about.
Right.
But
so you never see, but y'all guys be so y'all be out of it, and you normally get up. You know what I'm saying? You always the first to get up, Jay. So you probably be at 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
But see, I already got up 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, right. And by when you getting up, I'm going deep into sleep. That's why I always slept so late.
Right.
And everyone, remember I used to always late at 11, 12 o'clock. I'm still asleep. Yeah. And that's why because I don't get sleep.
Right.
My quality of sleep is horrible.
Oh man, that's crazy. Wow. I don't know.
Can I get one more? Do you eat your toast? you eat your toast with the left hand?
You gotta have the crust cut off. It's peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some shit.
Nah.
Gotta be having some grits on the side, or just tell me, what is it, bro?
Other than I don't have anything with any food. I used to only be able to eat mac and cheese with ketchup, but I stopped doing that like 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
I thought you was about to be like, I grew out of that shit when I was a kid. I stopped 3 years ago.
Yeah, like 3 years ago. I stopped doing that.
How did the doctor say this shit is gonna kill you? Did you like? I don't know. Tell me why? How did that stop?
Because because growing up, I really didn't like it, but it was cooked. So to adjust my liking, I did like ketchup on everything. Right. So when I started ketchup on everything, then I began to eat it. So it just stuck with me for the longest, and now to this day, and this is probably not weird, but like I eat all my food, then I drink something. So like I just drink without eating everything, all my food, then I'll drink whatever to drink. Okay. So
that's another thing I remember is Pooh eats his food ages. So Pooh won't just sit and eat the whole plate. Like when we go out there, he won't just sit and eat everything. He'll eat, wrap his shit back up. 30 minutes later, he'll go back some more. 10 minutes later, he'll go back it up. Like he really eats one plate in like 5 stages.
Wow.
And so none food can touch.
Right.
Like my rice can't touch. If I do have chicken on my plate, it can't touch my plate. My bread can't touch me. It's just if I have salad, my salad can't be on the plate with my food. It has to be on an entirely plate. It just doesn't taste the same.
So you're pretty lucky to be married.
And it looks so.
Yeah, Wow.
Because I mean,
this is Women's Month. You should be like real thankful you got one.
I would always fix my own plate. You know what I mean? But see, all the other stuff, people you never really know, because I really with the chicken thing, I never really ate chicken. You see what I'm saying? I never really ate chicken. Like if I ate chicken, it would be 1 or 2 pieces because I never really liked the taste of it ever since something happened to me when I was little. So I never really liked chicken on that. But the waking up, but she would be deathly asleep and on my walk around. But like she didn't really know about all the intricate things until it was far gone.
But she still stayed.
And that's true. All right. But now she's at the point where she's just shaking her head like, yo, dude. No, really.
Yeah,
really.
She like,
so the last time we were
kids in, I got too much shit to lose at this point.
Right. We were somewhere. We may have been in Miami, or I don't know where we were, but we were in the back. We were in the back seat, and they were taking us on a tour. Dude, and I was like, yo, kid, I don't think I can stay in here. And she was like, Tom, let's get you set together. It's all right. I was like, yo, I don't think I can ride in the back seat. Yo, I'm really about to lose it. So, yo, really, no joke. So what we had to do was we had to put all the windows down. We had to put all the windows down, and
half your body was outside the.
No, as long as I put down the window, and dude, this is it's extremely weird, but.
This far, right? Wait for this. Wait till you hear this shit.
I rolled all the windows down, and for a moment, I just lean over, and the wind would like just go against my face, and I felt I wasn't being restrained. So at that point, I began, I could calm down, and I was able to ride. But it's just the thing. It's just something about being confined that really wigs me out, man. And it got worse, when I was arrested and I was like wrongfully locked up. It probably got like 10 times worse than what it normally was. So that's why I'm where I am now. So like I wasn't that bad, but once they locked me up and they threw me in a paddy wagon for like 4 hours, and they put me in the cell, and then it wasn't even me. Like they was looking for bananas.
All right.
How old are your children?
12, 6, 5.
So they don't really got a sense yet of how unique they fall is yet. They ain't putting the patterns together yet. See,
right.
They gonna
be grown like, damn, daddy was crazy as shit.
7, 8 years, they're gonna be sitting around like, yo, ever notice that dad
Right.
never eats the big piece of chicken? I thought he was here for me. Nah, that motherfucker selfish as shit. He ain't saving it for you. Come on, man. You eat the big piece of chicken.
He just don't want it. Yeah.
Right.
They'll be like, what else you got? You ever notice that
You
dad
ever- y'all
when we on
ever-
the roller coasters?
Right. Y'all ever wake up at 3:45 and just see this nigga staring out the window? Yeah, I do. I saw that, but I didn't know what was going. It happened every
It
night.
happens every night, yo. It happens
Right.
every night.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, that's crazy. Y'all,
Oh,
hey,
shit.
you guys are crazy. So, like, if I drop my kids off at school,
There's
right?
more.
I can't drop them off. I'm gonna drop them off and drive off. So I have to literally see them go inside the building.
Okay.
Because if I don't, like, my anxiety is just gonna wrap me up all day until I realize or find out. Right? Huh?
You think
No. Just because in my mind I'm thinking that some Joe is just standing over there gonna grab him with him.
Like what's the,
You know,
like
so
the-
I have
like
to
the
see them
fox.
physically go inside the building.
Like the
So
fox
that's why I
on
don't
the
even
door.
go to the car riders line. You know, I drive around, walk them up,
Oh,
and
man.
and look, I can't even turn around and walk off and don't see them go in. I have to see them go inside.
Has
That's
anybody ever like walked up to you and accused you of like just like not knowing that?
I'm not. Why did I walk up to the door and I
Why you watching these kids, huh?
Excuse me, who the black man standing
Right.
outside looking at kids go inside the school?
And I would probably
He's a parent.
nut all the way up on that. But nah, never that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Different.
Right. So, Al, do you just give me one like quirk? Like
Oh
that?
yeah, I got it.
What's some of your quirks?
So one is when I pull up to a gas station, say like a Quick Trip, you know, like where there's like multiple ways of gas, pumps. I have to be facing the Quick Trip, the gas station. My car has to be that way, and I have to be at the front of that first pump.
Really?
Yeah.
And I mean, any reason? Does it make you feel more secure? Or?
I feel like I'm the best. No, I have no idea. Like it just became a habit. Like
Okay.
and then I just kept doing it, and now it's just something like I just like. Okay, I got to do it all the time now.
All right. Interesting. All right. Anything else? Or do we need to put you on the couch next week?
Yeah, right. Not really, because I'm not a quirky kind of guy. Like I'm kind of like a whatever kind of guy.
All right.
So it's not. I have to think. It's very few things. Like so. For example, this to show you how I'm not that guy. Right. This last car I bought, I was insistent on getting a certain type of color. And just because it's like, you know what, fuck it, it's my favorite color. I ain't never owned a car. That's my favorite color. Not that it even ever mattered before, but I actually never really drove a car that was my favorite color. Right. This time I'm going to. Right. And just kept looking and looking and looking. And when I told my brother, well, I'm looking for a car, and he saw cars, I'm like, yeah, right color. He's like, since when you gave a fuck about color?
Right.
Like, since when you gave a fuck about anything? Like, you the dude that don't really give a fuck about any of that shit. I'm like, yeah, but this time I am. And so much that I'm the whatever guy that this time it is going to make a difference.
Right.
That's the type of motherfucker I am. Like, sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. This time it does. So, but I'll think about if there's anything else. But the list, trust me, is short as shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, think about it. We'll put you on the couch next week.
Okay. Al's on the couch next week.
Al's on the couch next week. And then I'll go after you. I'm kind of like you. I don't have many quirks either. So, like, with Pooh is, I guess, it's similar.
But I'm sure if I think about it, I might can come up with some. Not,
Right.
I'm sure I can come up with a couple though.
Okay. Good. Well,
I've never been on a couch before, so this should be, I'm looking forward to this chance of laying on someone's couch.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we'll put you on the couch next week. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Oh. All right. Yeah, we're gonna we're going to jump into a commercial really quick, and we'll come back. We're going to talk about our favorite sports nicknames and a few things in NBA and NFL, and then buy, sell, listen to questions. So we got our second half of the episode left, so we'll be right back. If you're into all things comics, you have to check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, your go-to podcast for comic and superhero discussion, debates, polls, and more. Tune in as Regular Scott and Ozzy Killmonger chat about your favorite comic topics, and you never know who may show up for an open mic or what will be next on their favorite One Gotta Go. Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, every Sunday, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to episode 148 of the Defy Life Podcast. This is JR Glymph, Alvin Glymph, Thomas Stevens. Pooh, you can get off the couch now, sir. Let's talk about some regular shit.
No doubt.
Cool. First of all, we talked about sports nicknames, and I think we've done this in trivia a few times. It's sports nicknames, but we never really went into like what were our favorite sports nicknames. So, Pooh, you first. Are there any, like, definite favorites you have that stand out for you, like, from childhood to now that are, like, your absolute favorite sports nicknames?
My absolute favorite, just without putting any thought in it, the first thing that comes to my mind, it would be prime time.
Okay.
It will be prime time, but like I said before, I absolutely love the great one.
All right.
I love that nickname.
Yeah. Self-explanatory.
Right.
Okay. Al, are there any that's just stand out to you that are just like that's a dope ass nickname?
Yeah, there's some dope. I always like the answer.
Oh yeah.
I always thought white chocolate was dope.
Yeah.
I liked Primetime was that's kind of awesome.
Right.
I liked one that never really made it. I always thought Andre Johnson should have been Big Play Dre, and that's just for me. That's what I called him when I was playing Madden.
All right.
And
it's funny. That's what Pooh calls him too.
That I just thought that dude was a beast. But then the other one, thinking of right there was Megatron. And so I think like that to me was one of the greatest though, cause that dude was just sick of him, like a machine type of an athlete. Right. And the Freak, another one.
Yeah, the Freak. Yeah.
The Freak, that's another one. So those are the ones that kind of stand out.
Yeah, the Freak is nice.
Yeah. We talked about a few last week. The Big Hurt stood out. But Larry Bird, like the Hick from French Lick, I always loved that one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But Charles Barkley is the round mound of rebound. I love that one. And then like ones that kind of like combine initials and numbers, like Andre Kirilenko's AK-47 was the dopest nickname.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah, even though like Paul George PG-13, although that's kind of contrived, he changed his number to 13 to kind of make that nickname. So, but it's still a dope one.
The Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba's a dope one.
Yeah, Black Mamba's dope.
Yeah, the Bus was a dope one to me.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
The Minister of Defense.
Minister of Defense, man, yeah, that was a dope one.
Air Jordan, I forgot about Air Jordan.
And those are like the ones. That's what I was about to say. Like the ones like that, like Air Jordan, the ones that kind of become their first name.
Right.
Yeah.
King James. King James, right?
King James was a dope one. Right.
I like the Chosen One.
The Chosen One's a good one.
Yeah.
So this is it's for you. I'm like it's one that's to me. It's just again like creative ones. Always, we tend not to be so creative now as we call, like they call him KD. But the Slim Reaper is dope. It's to me like call Kevin Durant the Slim Reaper, but he don't like it.
I thought Durantula.
Yeah, and Durantula's dope.
That was a dope one.
But he don't like the nicknames. I'm like, how not? He's one that was dope to me.
Yeah, Pistol Pete, Pistol. Yeah.
Akeem the Dream, bunch of like Great nickname.
Grandmama was
dope. All right.
I never heard the Slim Reaper though. That's ill though.
Yeah, like he don't like any of the nicknames. Like, why? But that's KD being KD, sensitive ass.
Right, being KD.
All right, just picking at him. Like, man, how'd you not see the greatness in that?
Sweetness.
Yeah,
sweetness.
Sweetness, definitely sweetness.
The Russian Rocket. What was that? Pavel? They call him the Russian Rocket.
Yeah. Charlie Hustle.
Man, that's a dope one.
Nigerian Night.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Baby.
Big Baby.
Yeah. Baby.
Yeah.
Big Baby.
All right. The Chief.
Big Nasty.
Big Nasty. The Chief.
Big
Robert
Nasty.
Parrish. They call him the Chief because he looked like one
yeah.
of them Indians. Kareem, the cap, like 'cause he was a captain like for 20 straight years.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
Smoking
Yeah.
Joe.
You know, the greatest.
The greatest. That's what I was like. Somebody, your nickname is the greatest. Like, god damn. Like,
Yeah.
that's your nickname.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got Iron Mike.
Iron Mike. Yeah. Oh, that was
Vinny Microwave Johnson.
Microwave. Yeah, that was a dope
microwave.
one.
I mean, you talking about like when microwaves are just coming out,
Right.
You know?
Oh.
Them motherfuckers is like, yo, what's a microwave, yo?
Right.
What's
Fast.
a microwave? You ain't got one. Get one of those.
All right. Right. The glove.
Yeah.
Another dope
the
one.
glove's a good one.
Yeah.
Mr. October with Reggie Jackson.
Mr. October's a good one. Man. Yeah. It's
The dream, though. The dream was.
Yeah, it was crazy. The Admiral.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. David Robinson.
All right.
Little app.
Shaquille had like 8.
So does it count if you give it the nicknames? So.
Yes, it does. It really doesn't. But if you Shaq, it does.
Right.
Like, I'm with you.
The big Aristotle
GP,
and the big Cactus.
GP, you got nicknames need to be given to you.
Right, you got to earn it. Right. But
Shaq, I'll give you that.
Right, because they were that good. Right. So question. So Floyd Mayweather, early in his career, he was Pretty Boy Floyd. And then, of course, he became Money Mayweather. Which one y'all prefer?
I always be Money Mayweather to me.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be Money May. Yeah, Money May to me. But one more though, the Golden Boy. I really like the Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sweet Pea, Parnell.
Sweet Pea. All right. Yeah. Man.
Yeah,
and,
but
and if he was a better
Money May.
Okay. Yeah.
Camacho.
Yeah, Macho Camacho is a good one. If he was a better player, I always like Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
The Red Rifle.
Red Rifle. Yeah, Red Rifle. Like, that's a dope nickname. He just didn't, he wasn't very good.
No, it is a dope nickname,
yeah. But it's like, y'all got any that like y'all just hate, like that just stand out as ones, like nicknames that are just whack?
That's whack.
I got one, and like is Mitchell Trubisky. Somebody on the Bears started calling him the babyface pretty boy killer. Like, how you gonna have an 8-word nickname?
Yeah, that's
that was whack to me.
Wow.
Good thing it never stuck.
Right, I've never even heard that crap.
Yeah, he was on the Bears. Right. But I guess like mine are, again, the ones that are just, the KGs and, stuff like that. I've never really liked. None of them.
I'm not a big fan of honestly, they're not even nicknames, initials, really. When somebody like KD or...
Right. And one that I hate, just the affiliation and who they play for is Captain America. I get it, but you know how I feel about the Cowboys and this America's team shit. That's why I don't like. It is like the concept is dope. I just don't like because of who it is.
Right, concept is dope.
So how about if you somebody else's nickname, like if you ain't the first one to have the nickname, like so you got Earl of Pearl Monroe, but then you got Dwayne Washington,
right?
And literally, he was referred to as Pearl Washington.
Right.
And it's like if I'm Earl the Pearl, I'm like, he ain't the Pearl. I'm the Pearl.
Yeah. Or if you
nickname, bro.
If you Shaq, you looking at Dwight Howard like you ain't Superman. He said
you ain't Superman, bro. I'm the Superman of this generation.
Right.
No, you're not.
Like LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
Give him a new nickname. You got to find something else. Yeah, I'm with you. Secondhand nicknames, like hand-me-down nicknames, are not cool.
Hitman Hearns was cool until he got knocked the fuck out. So it's kind of one of them things where be careful.
Yeah.
You ain't the hitman when you get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. One that I didn't like is as much as I love the Black Mamba as a nickname, I hated when Kobe started referring to himself as Vino. Hated that shit.
Yeah.
Just because, for one, he gave it to himself, and two, it just seemed like something he set up every night out. Like, just go with Black Mamba, dude. That's dope enough.
Stay with the Mamba.
Right.
Yeah, the Mamba's dope.
All right. Yeah. It's very, like wilt to stilt. I get it rhymes. It ain't very creative. Never really. I love the refrigerator Perry. I didn't like when they called Nate Newton the kitchen. Like that was just like a ripoff. I ain't like that.
Yeah, that's kind of
Right.
Or they called. What did they call? Nate Newton was like the. Oh man, one was the fridge. He was like the sink or some shit like that. It was something like, come
Nate
on,
Newton,
man.
they called him the kitchen. Yeah,
The kitchen, yeah.
Right, and it was just like okay, I get it, but yeah.
I like those nicknames to where that's what people call you to where other people don't even know that you got a real first name.
Right.
So, when it's like Dr. J ain't Dr. J.
Right.
His real name is Julius Irvin, man.
Right.
Like, no way.
Magic Johnson, his mama didn't name him Magic.
Right. Hey, I remember as a kid, that's a real name. It's not Magic.
Right. Or Babe Ruth.
Oh, Babe Ruth. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, man, like it's cool. And I'm sure it's plenty we leaving off, but whether it's individual nicknames, group like team nicknames are always dope as hell to me. Like the Steel Curtain, the Monsters of the Midway, Showtime, stuff like that is always dope to me.
The Juice.
The Juice.
Yeah, the Juice.
All
Juice is dope.
All right.
The Juice.
And it always amazed me, like, how some great players don't have a nickname. Like Eric Dickerson. Anybody know a nickname for Eric Dickerson? Right. Like, I don't get it. Especially, like, back in those days when nicknames were, like, synonymous with superstardom.
How about D-Wade? Is it just D-Wade? Is that
right,
what you
just
got?
D-Wade, or, Shaq called him at one point early in his career, but yeah.
And the Flash.
The Flash, yeah.
Flash, too, yeah.
That didn't stick, though.
That didn't stick. Yeah, like there's a few that, they just don't have a nickname. Patrick can have a nickname. It's just a few that are just like saying you think great players would have a nickname. Some of them just don't.
Wow, yeah.
Herschel Walker. Bo Jackson. Did Bo Jackson have a nickname? No. I mean, Bo.
Nah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Was his name Bo?
Yeah. No, his name's Vincent.
Vincent or Virgil, something like that.
It's Vincent.
Bo was his nickname.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
They called him.
nickname.
They started calling him Bo as a kid because he was mean as a boar, so they called him Bo. But he didn't have a sports nickname. But yeah, it's weird. Like even Brian Bosworth had a nickname. How the hell you gonna give Bo Jackson a nickname? That's crazy.
The Boz.
The Boz. That's a dope nickname too, though.
No, it is.
Yeah, it is. I ain't gonna lie. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll all get off this episode and be like, "Damn, I ain't even think of this one." It'll be like 4 names popping in my head.
Big Poppy.
Poppy.
What's
That's
Randy Jones? Oh, the big. What was
Big Unit.
Big
Big
Unit.
Unit.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And Roger Clemens was what?
The Rocket.
The Rocket. Yeah, okay.
McGuire and Canseco, the Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers.
That's a dope. Yeah. And he was a ripoff. Clay and Steph, the Splash Brothers. I like that.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I ain't even make that connection coming out of Oakland.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Exactly.
Barry Bonds, I don't think he had one.
Barry Bonds didn't have one.
I don't think he had one.
Yeah, Barry Bonds didn't have one. Yeah, so.
Junior, King Griffey.
Yeah, the kid.
The kid.
But, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like A-Rod, I mean, that's what it was like. A-Rod is A-Rod. That's his nickname, but it ain't really, again, it's his first and last name. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. So
they had a closer in baseball. Didn't they used to call the kid Game Over or something like that?
That one they called Sandman.
One.
Who used
they
to
did
come
have
out?
somebody. I can't think of who.
Because I remember Money a while ago. He was like, "Man, they called that kid Game Over." I said, "Man, get out of here." He was like, "Yeah."
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I know it was one closer used to come out to Mr. Sandman. He used to just walk out music, man. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, no.
It's over.
Yeah,
Right.
that's dope.
Putting all y'all niggas to sleep.
No, that's dope.
Yeah. As sucky as he was, as Michael Oluwakandi, the Candyman, that was a dope ass nickname.
Yeah, the Candyman was dope.
Yeah, like if he was good, that would be a really dope nickname. He just had to suck.
It would be.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So, Al, NBA, man, we just finished talking about Kobe and LeBron nicknames and stuff. He's had a pretty big weekend this week, man.
Yeah.
Friday night they went into Milwaukee and took out the Bucks, right? And then Sunday, everybody was talking about just wait till Sunday, we'll really see what they made of, and they down the Clippers by double digits. And I want to take this moment first before I turn the floor over to y'all to say I want to pull back my statement. The best player in the world, man.
Wow.
Like, he is. Like, to see, like, LeBron's kind of gotten into this mode. Like, we're going to kind of make it to the playoffs, turn it on, and I'll show my point. To see him flex his will against the two most commonly mentioned names of people that say they've taken over his reign. And when I say, like, he flexed on them dudes. Like, people say I don't guard the best player. I'm going to shut these dudes down when it matters most. And he did it. And he muscled, Giannis in the post and muscled Kawhi in the post and was driving to the lane, dunking on fools, left hand, two hand. Like, I retract my statement until they actually beat him in the series. I can't. Once I saw it, I was like, yeah, when he wanted to, at 35, he always but when he wanted to show it, it wasn't nothing they could do about it. So, Al, what were your takeaways from this weekend?
I ain't gonna argue with that because he definitely showed it this weekend and was the best player on the court for games. But my takeaways is that my takeaways is Anthony Davis in the playoff run can't expect LeBron to be that guy throughout the playoffs. And so my takeaways is like, yeah, that gonna work. That worked this weekend. But if I'm Anthony Davis, I'm looking at it like, yo, I gotta find a way to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So that when LeBron because he's 35, when he's not able to be that guy, when the night is, because he's not going to be able to do this throughout the entire playoffs. So when he's not that guy, I need to make sure my level of play is of excellence so that I can be that guy. And at the end of the day, I really think the Lakers' path to the championship is with Anthony Davis being the best player on their team.
Right.
And not that I have any fault with what LeBron did this weekend, because it's brilliance. I mean, he was amazing. But I just think their path to the ring is if Anthony Davis is the MVP, and he got to step his up, got to play better. Played bad. He just wasn't the best player on the court. So that was my big takeaway. I liked everything else, man. The defense, both games were solid. Role players stepped up. Avery Bradley was a defensive force.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what I saw from the supporting cast for the most part. I loved what I saw from LeBron. Like, you can't. I can definitely get why you and other people watched this weekend and was like, why y'all saying someone else is MVP? Like, it should be LeBron. He's MVP because he's the best player on the court both games this weekend. So I get that. And it was good games to watch as a Laker fan to, remind that both those teams, because I'm sure it was a statement, Lakers, sort of remind them that the Lakers are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And with that was good to watch. That was good to watch. But, I don't think it can be, well, they won this weekend, so they're going to be the finals. They're going to win the finals. I don't think you can just easily say that.
Right.
But I definitely think in terms of when it comes time to play those teams again, like mentally, the Lakers will have the upper hand because of what happened this weekend. So good game. And shout out to Vogel, the Lakers coach.
Yeah.
To be able to get the weekend, first year coach. I think that's a good sign in terms of what's happening in terms of the team, the franchise, and buying in. Because I really think impressed me the most was not just LeBron and their execution on offense. I thought their defense was pretty impressive both games against two high-powered offenses. I mean, they're not the Warriors of 3 years ago, but they're definitely teams that are high-functioning offenses in today's NBA. And the Lakers kind of stifled both of those offenses to different degrees and was able to win. So I was happy to see what I saw this weekend.
Cool. Pooh, what were your takeaways from the Lakers practically enforcing their will and dominating those two games, the two best teams in the league?
Be short and sweet. Regular season game. I mean, the Lakers are out there. They're an extremely talented team. Two of the top four in the league in the NBA today. On their team. So, and they're surrounded by, other guys that are extremely talented. So the Lakers are, who we thought they were. But as in saying that I see what it's going to be in the playoffs and whatever else by these two games. No, I don't.
Yeah.
So that I don't have a huge takeaway on it. I mean, they beat them.
Right. One thing you mentioned that I absolutely agree with, Anthony Davis has to be he got to be a dog at some points, man. He's too passive at times, and it's almost like he's waiting for LeBron to take over. And I would love this. I love the moments when AD takes over the game. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, the Brow is a dope ass nickname.
I forgot about it.
So I do agree with that. I get what you're saying.
I mean, think of it like this. Let me say this: if you look at any of these matchups, and you're like, okay, AD is our best player, and then you compare him to the best player of Milwaukee and the best player of the Clippers, and you say, all right, if we could get that to be a toss up or a wash from a Laker perspective, that's good, because if you compare LeBron to most people's second player, we win in that matchup.
Easy.
So that's what I'm like. If we could just get him to compete at that level with Giannis and Kawhi, to where it's like, you right up there with them. Oh man, we running through people.
Right. And you don't want, I guess just from an aesthetics point of view, you don't want possibly your best player to put up a quiet 30 points. Like, you want him to be dominant, which he's shown in stretches he can be. But it's too many points throughout the games where he disappears, and you're just like, man, I want him to be a dog at certain points. So, I get it. When you're playing with LeBron, it's difficult to take that mantle, but he got to. I agree with you. I don't know, Pooh. Like I get what you're saying. Like it's a regular season game. They beat them, but there are certain regular season games in any sport that matter more than others. All right.
I mean, I just don't really. Yeah.
But so, like, I think it was, I forgot who it was. Maybe in Colin Cowherd. Cologne games. So, like, you live your life every day. 5-6 days out of the week, you might not wear cologne, but there are certain days. They don't mean no more than the other days of the week. But there are certain days where you may have a date. You may have a big meeting where you put on cologne. And that day deserves cologne. Those are cologne games where it's like those days, although in the win-loss column it means the same, but you got to make a statement on those days. You got to wear a red tie. So I think those were cologne games where they had to make a statement. And LeBron is kind of one of those transparent players who, when you can tell, like in general, LeBron's not really that guy that like, oh man, you pissed me off, now I'm going to show you. He usually just plays his game. Like as opposed to like Michael and Kobe, you can tell when you pissed them off and they just going to eat you alive. LeBron rarely does that, but you can tell he was in that mode this weekend. Mm-hmm. And he was like making a statement. And I think it was, to be fair, both these games meant more to the Lakers than they did to the Bucks and the Clippers, just because they had to, for their own psyche, show that they can beat these teams, and they beat the hell out of both of them. The scores weren't really indicative of how not close those games were. So I get it. The win-loss column is just a game, just a regular season game. But I think they made a statement that when we're playing at our peak and we're firing on all cylinders, it's going to be damn tough to beat us.
Because I think a lot of people looking at how the Milwaukee has been performing, you look at the depth of the Clippers roster. I think a lot of people were it's easy to see those two teams as above the Lakers. Just in not that I agree, but I could see how people are just, already pushing them into the finals. So the Lakers got to be hearing that chatter. LeBron and UAD, you're like, man, we came together to win the championship. So we want to make sure people remember that, we need to be looked out for. So I agree with you. It definitely was probably more important to them. And they stepped up to the plate. So kudos to them, and I think it just speaks to great NBA playoffs we got in front of us. Mm-hmm. Good matchups.
Yeah. So, either way, it's going to be fun. Quick question on the NFL. So we saw throughout this college season how great of a season Joe Burrow had, and most people are considering the LSU quarterback to be the first pick in the draft to the Cincinnati Bengals. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Tua Tagovailoa, however the hell you pronounce his name, I'm just going to call him Tua from Bama, that he had an injured hip, and he's got an injury history with both ankles. And but yesterday, Monday, he got cleared for full football participation. So he's got a clean bill of health. At this point, Al, with what you've seen from Tua over the last 3 years, and what you've seen from Joe Burrow in 1 year, possibly the greatest quarterback season ever in college football. Now that Tua's healthy, would you consider taking him with the number 1 pick?
Nah. And even though he is healthy, I would not have the confidence that he'll stay healthy. Mm-hmm. And you never know, because either both of them can get injured, in training camp. Uh-huh. But I think, you kind of base your risk on, past results. And the fact that he's had, I think, 3 lower body injuries.
And one in high school.
Yeah, man. Like, that just, is not a good indicator. And then thinking that the NFL is faster, quicker, stronger, more physical. I would, at the number 1 pick, where, it's a lot of risk and a lot of you want a big return on investment, so you want the most. If I'm picking number 1, I'm gonna try to go with the safer of the options, even though some might say Tua might have a higher ceiling, maybe, but I'm with you talking about it's not like I'm going with some slouch. If you pick Burrow, you're going with the guy who had the best season of any college quarterback ever.
Right.
So if I was betting, I'm gonna go with that guy, and hope that, because it's all a crapshoot. Just hope that because you're going that way, it's going to turn out better than the guy who is showing flashes of brilliance, but has also not been able to stay healthy. So I would go with Burrows.
Okay. Pooh, you going with the guy in Burrow with the higher floor, or the guy with Tua with the higher ceiling?
I'm going with Joe. I'm just going with Joe I'm just basing it off of, he was pretty much as a senior, as a redshirt senior, he was a pro. I mean, he was at the facility 10, 11 hours a day, studying film, breaking down film, working with the quarterback coaches, offensive coordinator, calling games, mock games. So he was pretty much doing everything that he's going to do, as a pro. So if that's any type of indication of what he's going to do in the league, I'll take. Give me Joe. I'm taking Joe.
Yeah. This one, I don't think there's any way you can't take Joe Burrow. As much as I like Tua, if all things were equal and there wasn't a question of injuries or, if this and if that, I'm taking Tua just because I like his upside and I think he can do more in the current game. But like you said, Al, anybody with that kind of history of lower body injuries, it scares me to take them number 1 overall. And regardless of what anybody wants to say, there's a huge difference in taking a guy at 1 and a guy at 6. So I got to go with Burrow as well. Even though I'm happy that Tua is healthy, and we've all seen at this juncture of the NFL, there's no off season. So this juncture of the NFL season, where it's draft season, it's almost better to not be the number 1 rated guy if you're a quarterback, because they're going to spend the next 6 months picking you apart. And that's what they're doing to Joe Burrow at this point. And finding reasons for Tua to be vaulted back to the top. I don't think he's worthy at this point, just because we say it all the time. Your biggest ability is your availability. And so I got to go with Burrow as well.
I think the people who are really happy are the teams who are drafted right behind, right behind the Bengals. So you're looking at the Washington, the Lions, the Giants. Right. I mean, I think they're saying, Tua might be, allowing them to make their draft choices a little bit more valuable in the sense of, like, if I'm Washington, I would jump at Chase Young, but Washington kind of stupid sometimes with their personnel moves, right. So they might be like, we might want to flip that pick for somebody who wants a Tua right now that he has a clean bill, and slide back a few picks. So I mean, like, the Chargers might want to jump up, but right. I'm glad he got the clean bill of health, because when he was playing, I liked what I saw. So I would love to see his talent in the league, because I love his composure and his makeup. I think he got a really good arm, and I just think he need to stop running.
All right, or learn how to slide, something.
Yeah, something.
All right.
Yeah, he's a little fragile.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. So, ready for a little buy or sell? You ready? Hear what I got to say? So, my buy or sell statement for this week. There will be a female head coach in the NBA within the next 10 years. Pooh, what say you? Buying or selling it?
Buy, sell.
There are already 12 assistant coaches in the NBA who are women.
I watched the special on about 2 days ago it dropped. They had another special on. Yeah, I watched it. I'm gonna buy it, man.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna end up pulling the trigger on one.
Okay. Al, what do you think? You buying or selling that there'll be a female head coach within the next 10 years?
Not 10 years.
Okay.
Maybe I if you said 20, I'd buy that. I think it's gonna. I don't think this first crop of assistants is gonna jump right in. Like, I think it's going to take a good decade of men, like, not the players and the owners, like, changing their mind and believing that a woman could lead 15, 20 men, to be that person.
Right.
Those guys, alpha dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's going to, take some time of that evidence being gathered, and then them like, you know what? Yeah, I think this can happen.
It was
not 10. I don't think 10 years.
Okay. And I could kind of see it both ways. The reason I did say is because the reason I made the statement, and I went back and forth on this for a while. The reason I make the statement, obviously I buy, is that when you see, like you said, the current crop, how much respect they already have, like Becky Hammond in San Antonio, and how much, for the best coach in the league, possibly the best coach in the history of the league, and Greg Popovich, to make her, his top assistant. For that kind of headway to be made in 3-4 years, I can't totally erase the possibility of someone like Becky Hammond being given an opportunity to lead a team. One thing I went back and forth on in regards to Becky Hammond was it was kind of disheartening for me, as much as I love Tim Duncan. When Popovich was out for one game last week, they made Tim Duncan the acting head coach of the team. When you look at coaching, like what they've done to deserve that seat while Pop is out, there's no way Duncan matches up to Becky Hammond. But he was given the seat anyway. So that's one thing that kind of concerns me, and what will be the next motions of a female head coach. But I think someone's going to break through within the next decade, especially in the NBA where they're so progressive. So we'll see. I wouldn't bet my bank account on buying or selling. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna make this statement. And I'm gonna buy it. I think there will be. So, but it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. When it does happen.
Yeah, I think it's definitely evidence that women can be just as good as leaders as men. I just think every industry is different, So it's like we got the women in here, but even that example with San Antonio speaks to something. Like, I don't know what that is, but it definitely says something about still the NBA culture, to where she got leapfrogged by Tim Duncan. Like,
right.
Like, hold on, how he get to be the coach?
Right. Like, this dude just grew some dreads. He ain't
or,
no coach.
For all we know, I mean, who knows? But she might have been like, yo, really? Like, it's going to cause too much, like, distractions. Who knows? Like, there would have been a big focus. So who knows what the why is?
Right.
But either way, it happened, and so just says, maybe they still not ready, and as progressive as the Spurs are. So.
True. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe when we're on episode 847, we can come back and talk about this in 10 years.
Oh, man.
All right. Oh man, our listener question for this week. So Al, Marquise from Lincoln, Nebraska, wants to know if your kid sucks at a sport. Is there a point where you stop encouraging and just be honest with them?
I think you can be honest with them and still encourage them. So I think you can tell them they suck, but let them know that they can get better. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't use the word suck as a parent for the record, but
son,
let
you
them
suck.
know,
But you
you suck. But at the same time, like, if you can't hit the ball, I'm not gonna lie to you either. Like, be like, oh man, what a great day, you went 0 for 6. No, bruh, you're not hitting right. Like, you want to go to the cage. Like, I would try to help them get better, but I'm not gonna lie to them. So yes, at the point where I know my kid is not performing well in the sport, I am the parent that I tend to be more honest than not. Because I don't think like that. I'm trying to help them. I want you to be better, and I'm assuming that's why you're out there, because you want to be better.
Right.
So I want to help you get better, so that because I think you enjoy the sport more when you're better at it, and I also think that's why we're doing it, to get better. Like, you have fun is also part of it, but part of having fun to me is getting better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I would encourage that child to get better. And so, yeah, I'm gonna let them know they are. Damn, what I said, they suck though. That's good. Man, you suck, man. Dang. No, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, I might tell them you suck today. Like,
when they got older.
I'm saying like in today's game, son, you was 0 for 6. You suck today. We need to get some work done.
Oh yeah. You're right.
But in general, to tell them they suck, yeah, that'd be tough to do.
And it depends on their age too.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
A 5-year-old who hasn't faced sucking before, or daddy not being all that impressed with them before, you might not want to just be like, dang, you suck.
Yeah.
But a teenager who's you've been up and down with, and then it's a little different. Like, dang, dog, what's up with your defense tonight, man? You sucked on it tonight.
Right.
What's up with that? My bad, Dad. My bad.
I did. Yeah.
And I honestly, you talk about gender, having parented a male and a female, like the emotions of a child, honestly, I think some people think it's different. You still got to take a boy's emotions into their consideration as well. So just wanted to, it ain't no gender gap. We talk about women's, it ain't no, you gotta be careful with what you say with males and females.
Right. Yeah, Pooh, is there any point where you stop encouraging and just tell them they suck?
Nah, not at all, because there's always a silver lining to it. We've been playing sports for forever and a day, and the lessons, the life lessons, the camaraderie, the special lessons that you learn from sports. And I mean, we see people, you learn things and you may not even play a down, but you exhibit things and you learn life lessons that'll be with you for a lifetime. And most great coaches were shitty players, or even if they got in at all. So I definitely wouldn't tell him to let it go. Just stick through it, learn what he's gonna learn, and it's preparing him for different genres in life. So I'll definitely keep him in it.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's one, you have to always be realistic with them. So I never tell my son that he's great Like when he's playing great, when he hasn't been playing great. But I'm never going to, and he's 10. So I'm not going to tell him, hey, you suck. That can crush a kid who's not able to really grasp the fact that you're saying, no, you suck today versus you suck in general. Kids at, at certain ages can't really grasp the difference. But I do tell my son that, and I tell this to any athlete at any age, at some point, there's going to come a time where somebody's going to tell you you're not good enough to play anymore. Whether that's at 13 and you don't make your middle school team, whether that's you don't get offered a scholarship to college and they tell you you're not good enough to play here, or it's when you're 4 years old and you're retiring from the NFL, it's because they tell you, look, man, you just can't get it done anymore. You can't play anymore. At some point, somebody's going to tell you that. We've all gone through it as athletes. But as long as you're working to get better, I'm gonna support you. But you got to show me that you want this. So, of course, Lincoln's first year, there were several points where that was brought into question. Like, do you really want this, or are you just talking? Because I'll help you in every way I can, but you got to show me you want this more than I want it for you. But I don't think I'd ever tell my kid, hey, you suck, just quit. Go do something else. Like, that's crazy. And I get it's a figure of speech, nobody would really say it in those words. But I've told Lincoln several times, like, look, man, we got work to do. And it paid off. We went into the season as kind of the laughing stock of the team because he was completely out of shape, and throughout the season, before the season ended, he earned a starting job. So, so it's and I feel like if you're asking your kid to back up what they're saying, with work, you have to also, as a parent, back it up, because you're saying that you support them and you're going to be there for them. You also have to back it up with your actions. So, I don't think I'll ever stop encouraging, but they got to be working for it.
And I think that's the beauty about youth. I mean, this sports is that you can hard work pay dividends, and I think that's such a great lesson to learn in life. And I will never tell a child what they can't be, because I know with hard work, who knows what the hell they can be, right? And right. I'll never forget. Like, to me, like, we got a cousin that made it to the NFL. But when he was a middle school, high school kid, right, and he was talking those big dreams, I looked at him like,
yeah,
nah, son, like you ain't that good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't that good.
Yeah.
But when you think about the I can remember him working in 96-degree heat, pulling tires in the backyard in high school.
Right.
Like, when you type of effort
right
in sports, you get better.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, so I refuse to ever look at a kid and be like, you can't do anything. Like, it's just about, just work hard, put in the time. And like you said, whenever that day comes where you are not good enough to play, so be it. But for all we know, it could be one of the best in the world.
Right.
When you're that young, like, you just never know where a kid can end up. So don't, never stop encouraging them is my point. I agree with all of y'all. Never stop encouraging them.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So, all right. Y'all ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
All right.
No doubt.
All right. Well, I have in front of me the top 20 scorers in WNBA history. All right. So we got 1 through 20. We just gonna go old school. You give me a name. If it's on the list, you stay in. There's no points. If you miss a name, the next person has to get a name right in order to win.
Okay.
All right. So, Al, you hosted last week. So, Pooh, you go first. 1 through 20, top scorers in WNBA history. Pooh, you got a name for me?
Cynthia Cooper.
Cynthia Cooper. is not on the list.
Damn,
Cynthia
you going out
Cooper?
like that?
Cynthia Cooper not on the list. I think Cynthia Cooper didn't play that long. She was she was already kind of up there in age when the
she
league
was
started.
older, but I thought she was one on the list for.
Damn, I hate to take you out that fast, Pooh.
You're right.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm thinking about when I was like heavy in the WNBA. Cynthia Cooper.
Right.
I could have easily said Lisa and Tina Thompson. I could have easily, but damn, for some reason I thought she was in there. I thought Cynthia Cooper was there.
If you had, we would have still been playing.
We would still been playing. That's real.
Yeah. Al, give me any name, sir.
Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi is number 1 on the list. Yeah. Congrats, Al. So 19 names that Pooh could have said to keep him in the game. These are those names. 20th on the list is Tangela Smith with 5,048 points. Swing Cash is 19.
Swim.
Candace Parker's 18.
Nice.
Sylvia Files is 17. Angel McCautry is 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Former Dream, yeah. 15 is Lindsay Whalen. 14 is Katie Douglas. 13 is Delisha Milton Jones.
Okay.
12th is the aforementioned Becky Hammond. Shout out to Becky. 11th, Simone Augustus. And in the top 10, we've got with 10, Tina Charles.
Damn, she top 10 already.
9 is Lauren Jackson. 8 is Sue Bird. 7 is Lisa Leslie.
See, there goes Leslie.
Tied for 5th right now, and this is as of today, Candice Dupree and Katie Smith. 4 is Cappy Pondexter.
Cappy.
3 is the great Tamika Catchings, another one of my favorites.
Tamika, yeah.
2 is Tina Thompson.
A beast.
Yeah.
There's Tina Thompson. I said both. What else?
Man, she's number 2.
She's number 2, bro.
Yeah. And again, number 1 is Diana Taurasi, who is about 1,100 points higher than Tina Thompson. And she's still going.
Oh, she's
right. So so those are the other 19 names you could have said, Pooh. But good job,
You're right.
nonetheless. But yeah, Al, you won. What you got for me, sir? What's your parting shot?
Man, my parting shot is, just in this day and time, early March 2020, the coronavirus is on a lot of people's minds, and it's just a major theme. So I really advise people to do their best to get good information, because there is good information out there. So, whether it's your health, your board of health, your school system, go to places you trust to get good information, because there are, simple ways to keep yourself clean, keep yourself safe. And the more you learn about this, is just that, it is impacting some of the most vulnerable people in our families. So if we can do what we can to protect the most vulnerable people, whether it's because of them sick or because they're elderly, I just think we need to gain that information so that we can protect them to this virus. And it's spreading, and there's a lot of, every day it's a lot of new information. Things are changing on a daily basis. So I just advise people to continue to try to get new information, because by the hour it seems like shit changes. And we've got more and more cases down in Georgia. So just something I just advise folks to continue to stay informed.
No doubt. Pooh, what say you?
Man, I just want to give shout out on this day in 1813. I'm not sure the year, but probably the greatest woman that we've ever known, succumbed to old age on this day, Harriet Tubman. He died on March 10th. So I just want to shout out Harriet Tubman.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Definitely one of the greatest. Absolutely. Just to piggyback off you, Al, my parting shot, I just want to kind of give a few myths and facts about the coronavirus, just to kind of dispel a lot of rumors that are going around. First and foremost, black people are not immune to coronavirus.
Damn, that's going around.
Yeah, it's actually spreading. Although, the numbers kind of lend to that rumor. It is actually not completely true. Africa hasn't been hit by the virus as heavily as other countries have. People with less melanin, so that kind of lends to the rumor. The only death in Africa has been from a German resident, German citizen. So that kind of lends to the rumors that are going around. But we are not immune. So still take care of yourselves, protect yourselves, wash your hands, all that shit. But this is other flu. A lot of people are thinking that if they've got their flu shot, it'll make them less susceptible to the virus. That is completely untrue. There are two completely separate viruses. So still want to protect yourself. And people are saying that people are overcharging for the coronavirus test. That is true. That is completely false. It is free. Some people are saying that it's upwards of $3,000 to get tested for it. That's completely false.
Damn.
You can get a free test for the coronavirus. And just a couple of other things. There's people are saying that if I have the coronavirus, is it okay if I stay home, or is it best that I go to a doctor? Like any sickness, if you think you have it, it's best to see a doctor. So don't self-medicate, don't self-diagnose. Go get checked and see if you have it. And lastly, I've heard several doctors say this. Please do not listen to everything you hear in the media. Do your research. You should be washing your hands without a supposed pandemic. Washing your hands, doing all that stuff you should do. But as we know, everybody doesn't do that. So just use common sense. Take care of yourselves. And listen to doctors and people who are educated on this. We do know the media a lot of times creates hysteria. And in turn, we create hysteria by talking about it and not doing our own research. So just keep in mind that it's a virus like anything else. It is essentially, not as potent as the flu virus, but there are no vaccines for it, and there's not as many as tests, and we're not as familiar with it. So do your own research. Stay diligent on taking care of yourself, and you'll be fine. It is not a death sentence by any means. So that's all I got. Guys, another great show. It's been episode 148 of the Defy Life Podcast. Please check us out at defylifepods.com or anywhere else you get your favorite podcast for free 99. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.